What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome to another live stream. Shout out to Josh Wilson in the comments. Sammy, put the lotion down. It's live time. I'm sorry. You caught me in the act, bro. Welcome to another live stream, ladies and gents. Take a look at Bitcoin right here, sitting pretty at about $59,000. We actually, depending on which exchange you look at this on, broke $60,000. So, Josh Wilson, shout out to you again, catching me in the act there. That is absolutely brilliant. YouTubers always late. Brendan, going live is not as easy as you think it is. Thank you all for tuning in, ladies and gents. If you are excited for this one, do me a favor and smash those likes up. Bitcoin is like 20% away from its all-time high, which is bloody ridiculous. So there's a lot that we have to talk about today. Greetings from Cyprus. Shout out to Raminta from Cyprus. Raminta, I'm sorry if I didn't say your name right. Yeah, we're going to be discussing all of this Bitcoin price action today, looking at the possibility of Bitcoin ripping higher. I'm going to be telling you why I actually sold some Bitcoin today. It's probably quite obvious, hopefully. Oh, we got Greece and Cyprus in the chat. You guys make up. What's up, Nick Malik from Norwich? So we're going to be taking a look at if if this thing can continue to rip higher, or just really the possibilities of this kind of maybe taking a bit of a relaxation now. I think that things have gotten very, very crazy in this market over the last little bit. And as usual, I'm right here bringing the sober, stable, calm approach to the market for all of you guys in this live stream. So as you're coming in, do me a favor and smash those likes up for this beautiful live stream. Basically perfect timing for Europe and Asia today. Maybe even Australia. And so that's super cool. Smash those likes up as you're coming in. Let me know if everything's good. Audio and video. Wow, I might have a connection issue. So let me know if the connection's okay, guys. I might have a connection issue. Damn. Yeah, I need you guys to let me know if everything's fine with the live stream connection. And then I think we're ready to go. All's good? You're fine? Cool. Okay, thank you. Good. So just on my side then. All right, well, let's get rolling then, because, one of the first things I wanted to do to just kind of judge how high this leg can go is actually draw a leg from the previous run, right? And you can either do that from here up to here, or what I want to do in this case is from here up to here, right? And then we can kind of see like, all right, this was the, this is like, let's just measure this real quick. This is a $10,700 move that Bitcoin produced off this low up to this high. And then we can kind of use that to extrapolate a target. We could probably draw it from here. And that would give Bitcoin a little bit more upside, up to about 61K, if we just follow this really standard, very, very basic approach of like, look, this is kind of where you might expect, the next move to go based off where the previous move went. So that could be interesting and worth taking into account. Picture isn't great. That might be on your side if everyone else is saying it's good. But yeah, so that would be, something that I'm looking at, in terms of if this thing does continue to go. And it's also a really nice potential deviation zone, because one of the things we know quite well about this particular range, if we zoom out, is, this is where Bitcoin, really should be stopping if it's trending up aggressively. This is basically the price zone that Bitcoin stopped at the first ever time we got here. When we were setting new all-time highs above 58K, we were still struggling massively at this level. And we did manage to get some wicks, right? I mean, these wicks go up to about 60,000, maybe even a little bit more. And again, depending on which exchange you're looking at, we've potentially even gone higher than that right now. But broadly speaking, this is a ceiling for the market. When we continue to kind of prove that in late 2021, when we bounced off this level and then continue to find resistance as well. So, I'm really not expecting anything higher than this right now until we manage to get some sort of a, correction of some sort, right? And whether that's a pause or a drop, and that's something we'll talk about later. We've got some comments about Solana. If you guys want me to look at a particular altcoin, let me know. Solana is one of the altcoins I'm going to be looking at in this live stream. As you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in the live chat down below. And of course, help me make these live streams reach the viewers that they need to reach. When you guys show these live streams a little bit of love, we tend to do very well. So let's get this up to 100 likes for the first benchmark. I think that should be very easy. Just hit up that like button if you're going to be finding this one useful. If you've already found it useful, obviously we're going to keep it super chill, super relaxed, because I remember the first time I ever made a significant chunk of money in one day. It was actually $20,000. I went to somebody who I considered my mentor, and I was like, why do I not feel anything? And he said back to me, if you felt anything in terms of emotional highs, then you wouldn't be the breadwinner. Like, the breadwinner has to not feel emotion. And that really stuck with me. And it's basically how I've been ever since. I was on the phone with somebody just now, and she was like, are you happy Bitcoin's at 60K? I was like, fuck no. Like, I don't care. And I think that's a really helpful approach to be taking on in a market situation like right now. So let's keep it super steady and calm for this one, because you're going to give yourself the best chance of making phenomenal decisions. So thank you all for getting us up. Let's get up to that 100 like mark and continue on with this live stream now. So, for me, it's that risk of deviation, which I think is definitely going to be interesting. Honestly, I would be very interested in considering some shorts up here. It's also dangerous, which is why I haven't quite done anything like that yet. But one of the things which I think is actually really important, and I think a lot of people miss this, is like, I've personally been calling for a drop for a while, since we were at $40,000, $44,000. And obviously we haven't gotten that. I mean, this entire run up has been since $44,000, which means that we've moved up now by about $15,000. But that doesn't really matter, because we're just visualizing this market in terms of levels, right? And so if we look at levels for this market, then the only key levels above 44 were 52 and current price is 58. So there's only two key levels that we've actually hit after 44, and everything in between those levels, they're just air gaps, right? And this is proven. I mean, I gave you guys the analysis before it happened, and then it happened perfectly. These are just air gaps. 44K up to 52, it's an air gap. We move up in like 7 days. I mean, super quick. 52 up to 58, we move up in fucking 2-3 days, right? These price moves happen really quickly between these key levels, so we don't really care about the big price ranges between them, other than to trade them and make money, because they're the easiest price ranges to make money off of. So that's obviously super cool, and I've definitely been seeing some really nice gains continuing to come in because of this. I just want to take a quick look at where I'm at on Bybit right here, because this has been absolutely breathtakingly phenomenal. Super happy with this. This is the same position I've been showing you guys for a little bit. And if I do take a look at where I'm at right now, absolutely nothing is loading, so I might not be able to do that. But it is probably going to be sitting at about 1700% profit, which is super cool. Again, guys, I want to highlight to you the amazing opportunity available with the comment section down here. You have got a free $500 position you can take on Bybit right now. Like right now with that link, you can pause the live stream and come back. I'm not going anywhere, or you can do this while we're live right here with me. You have got a free $500 position that Bybit is giving you. This costs them a lot of money and they don't like doing it. I'm actually kind of fighting them to keep this offer open for you all. So definitely do take advantage of it if you like the idea of making free trades with free money. That is now a $1,700% profit on my trade that I made on Bitcoin. And not too bad. 845% on Tron. So still super happy with that. Can't complain. What can you say? So check that out. You're getting up to 30K in free capital you can deploy onto the markets. BingX, a phenomenal no KYC alternative where you can trade traditional finance. Let's come back to the video here though and discuss this for just a second, because I think one of the key things to understand is that, like, even though I've been calling for a drop since about 44K, I haven't actually been able to act on that, because any good trader will tell you this, that like even if you've got conviction and you really feel quite sure about where the market should reverse or anything like that, you still wouldn't make a decision just purely based off that. That would be irresponsible. Instead, what you would do is you would wait for confirmation, right? You would wait for the market to give you some sort of confirmation. And what does confirmation look like? In a situation like right now, confirmation would mean that you break below a level, right? you break below a key level, and then you backtest it and you get rejected. It's this rejection that is your confirmation. This is your sign that you're now punching in lower highs and that you're actually going to start trending lower. If you're being cheeky with it, you could actually say that this was confirmation, but of course that would have lost you money. And we're not looking to be 100% perfect here. We're just looking to take profits at good levels. I mean, if the price is ripped up by this much, it's absolutely completely obvious at this stage that this thing is going to have a very nasty hangover. We're partying in Mykonos right now in Santana, and it's like 2, 3, 4 days straight we're on a fucking bender. I mean, these things don't end well. So look at the Polestar, by the way. That's a pretty cool interior. Shout out to Palestine, by the way. I haven't spoken about this publicly, but this is something that I align with massively, and I don't really try to get involved in politics, but I think it's important. I do want to make my stance clear on that. Free Palestine right there. But 82 on the Fear and Greed Index, 79 yesterday. We are very, very high up here on the Fear and Greed Index, which is absolutely horrific, ladies and gents. I mean, let's take a quick look at the long and short ratio to see what that's saying as well, because I think that could be very interesting. We've just hit 100 likes. Thank you all very much, ladies and gents, for showing this live stream some support. As you guys are engaging with this, we are going to be reaching some more people, and I'm happy to be on here for as long as we need to be. So super, super excited for that. We've got a 56% short account number right here on the long short ratio for today. So definitely seeing some more shorts coming in. This hasn't actually mattered over the last little bit, which is definitely interesting. But let's come back to this confirmation note. I want to talk to you about those numbers in a sec. I haven't been able to find that confirmation in this market in terms of being bearish, which means that basically right up until like an hour ago, I haven't actually sold crypto. And I really wanted to, since we were down at 44K. I mean, it's the only thing that looked extremely obvious to me, is starting to exit some of these positions, but I just couldn't do it because we didn't get the exit, confirmations that I'd be looking for. But I decided to break that rule today. I posted this into 4Flies Gold and, of course, naturally into 4Flies VIP, mentioning that I've sold some Bitcoin spot here at $59,000. There is absolutely no way I can see such a high price so quickly and not take profits. In fact, and this is so strange for me to say, but I was just on the phone with somebody right now, and I was saying I would rather, I wish I had the balls to sell all of my crypto right now. I don't. I'm still basically all in. I'm selling little bits here and there because I just can't be out of crypto. I'm gonna feel way too much FOMO that I'm not in. And I've known this since 2017, I've been all in on crypto since about late 2017, 2018. So I've known this for years. And it's served me so well that it's just kind of what I do. It is my financial strategy. It's where I feel safest in crypto. I don't have the conviction to get out fully, but I have sold some up here, and I absolutely wish I could have done more. I'm just psychologically not there. I'm being super open with you guys. I think this is a very, very dangerous point in the market, ladies and gents. I mean, with the massive rise up with the Fear and Greed Index, it's just, we could still climb up by several thousands of dollars. Fuck it, we can get to 67K and I still feel the exact same way. I'm reminded very keenly about how back here, the whole time, I was basically exercising the exact same sentiment I'm giving you guys right now, saying we're rising up too quickly, we need a correction, and I changed sides right here. And obviously that was the perfect time to be completely wrong about it, and that's not a mistake I want to make again, because I knew back then that the factors were not bullish and we were just being irrational. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing right now. There was a really funny tweet that I saw posted just now. I need to show this to you guys. It was absolutely hilarious, from Don Alt, one of my favorite accounts on crypto Twitter. Back in December of 2022, a duck can dream, and he posts this chart right here. Absolutely fantastic, just pure comedy. And of course, he quote tweets it just today saying, bro, what the fuck? And of course, my response to this tweet was, well, you can't find it here. Right here, tweet of the year, you won. This guy won Twitter, ladies and gents, for this year. This is how the chart feels. The chart feels like it's just been one straight fuck you lightsaber right up to all-time highs. And that's cool, right? We can print things like this. But to imagine that there's no hangover afterwards is where a lot of people are about to start making some really dangerous mistakes. And I think that's one of the things I want to talk to you about today. And that's why I'm quite happy to start positioning myself out of this market at this stage, because the chance that we don't get a lower entry on Bitcoin now, to me, is so incredibly slim. It's going to have to come. It's basically just a matter of when, not if. Of course, nothing is guaranteed, so I can't speak in absolutes. But, broadly speaking, this is, I just don't see how we're not going to get a cheaper Bitcoin below 50, even below 40, to be honest, ladies and gents. I don't see how that's not going to happen at this stage, considering that these things do lead to really, really strong reactions. Right now, on the short term, though, we do have the right signs that we want to tell us that this thing might stay bullish. We've got 400 viewers in here right now. Shout out to those of you that are smashing up those likes. I really do appreciate it, ladies and gents. If you are finding this useful, do me a favor and engage with this live stream a little bit. If we talk about this, kind of short-term price action, we've definitely got the setup for Bitcoin to continue trading up, right? I mean, we've got the volume coming in. If we take that, extrapolation of this move, and then we kind of put that from the bottom here, we've still got a little bit more upside from that perspective that I showed you right at the beginning of the live stream. You can rewind if you're just tuning in a little bit late. So, that all really lines up quite well, to show us that there's a little bit more upside. And of course, I mean, if we break this entire area of resistance, then you can't really say where the next resistance is. I mean, it's basically done. We're right on $60,000's doorstep, and I don't really see any other technical levels. I guess you could probably make an argument for, what is this price range? 62 up to about 64, but they're so thin, right? And this is something I was telling you guys when Bitcoin broke $30,000 way back here, was that, and this was obviously something that we were expecting on the YouTube channel. We were expecting it on the YouTube channel since we were down in the $17,000 range back here. But one of the things I was warning you guys about when we got above 30K is that our atmosphere is now very thin, right? Like 30K was the big level. It was the big resistance area. And now that we were able to get above that, we're basically done from that perspective. Like, I don't think that the other resistance levels up ahead, I didn't think that they were going to be particularly strong or particularly difficult to break. And it turns out that prophecy was a little bit too correct, because we've now ran out of resistance and we don't have any more, right? So it's really, I think, just kind of the psychological resistance sitting at about like $69,000 now, that previous all-time high. That's probably where I'd say, we're going to be looking at some more resistance coming in for the market next at this stage. Because, I mean, there are little levels in between, and there's definitely cause for concern at those levels in terms of resistance. But, like, just from this kind of technical perspective, I don't even think it's reasonable to say that Bitcoin's going to stop there. I do think Bitcoin will stop before it gets to the all-time high, because it would be really strange if we didn't. But, we do have the potential setup now for that, kind of double top as well, which is just so crazy to even say. But to pass this all-time high, I mean, that would be the first of the first. It would be a first of a first, for Bitcoin to pull off something like that. So highly unusual for Bitcoin to manage to do that. I've certainly never seen anything like this, and I've been in crypto for 7 years. So, that would be highly, highly surprising. And I think what's actually much more likely is that there is going to be some kind of grounding, coming back to reality, where we realize that actually there's going to be some kind of pullback before we continue to go up. And of course, these are not bearish things I'm saying, because I'm actually just looking for this trend to move in a much healthier way. When we get these really extreme bits of price action, then we pay for them, right? And that's what we did both times in 2021. I can't expect that 2024 would be any different. When you kind of rally up like that, you're going to have to pay for it on the other side, and it's not going to be particularly comfortable to live through that. So I'm actually looking for, Bitcoin to definitely pass those all-time highs, but, to just kind of get there in a healthier way. And unfortunately, the healthier way, the way I'm seeing things now, is still going to mean potentially like a 50% drop. And actually, I'm curious, what is a 40% drop? Because that's usually like the biggest correction Bitcoin gets, and that does put Bitcoin at about $35,000, assuming that we're actually going to break this uptrend now, which, it hasn't happened yet. So, you don't necessarily want to make that assumption. But that is something which I think is important. Guys, I'm still getting signs that this live stream has a bad connection. Are you guys sure it's completely fine? Like, I mean, to be fair, I'm not seeing any bad comments about it, so I guess it is fine. You're right that this is getting ballistics, but in times like this, you have to focus more on fundamentals. These are obvious. It's about supply. Look, I think there's a lot of discussions to have about that stuff, and I definitely want to talk to you, ladies and gents, about that in this live stream because I think that's really important. Getting a lot of altcoin suggestions. I will be going through the altcoins in a little bit. I just want to open this up for Q&A just for a second and come back to the charts. For me, one of the things which I think is really important is you're getting a lot of people making really valid arguments for why the price might continue to go up. But my problem is that these same arguments existed before, even back in 2022 when we were trending down, and they're going to exist in the future if and when an inevitable strong crash happens. So the Bitcoin's not rising up for those reasons, and that's my opinion. My opinion on this is that Bitcoin is rising up purely because it's one idiot after another. Like it's that, like, I think I can dump on you at a higher price and I can make some money off the next guy, so I'm gonna do that. Like, I think that's what's going on with Bitcoin right now. And that's, I think, one of the key reasons that we kind of know that this is the case is because, well, first of all, that's actually just a characteristic of this market, right? I mean, that's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin primarily only gets bought because it's speculative, and that puts you in a really dangerous position where as soon as that kind of uptrend stops or slows down, it immediately starts looking very unattractive as an investment, and I think that's where people actually start dropping them quite quickly. And I think the other side of this is honestly, it's just cope, bro. Like, I just see it as cope. I completely agree that the fundamental factors are there, and that's why I've told you guys I'm, basically all in on Bitcoin. I can't not be all in on it. And it's because of those same reasons, right? I definitely think that, there is some really, really good signs going for Bitcoin in its, kind of long term. But at the same time, we start looking at like, well, it's because of this, this, and this. Ladies and gents, I can assure you, and we've covered this before if you've been subscribed, if you wake up to Bitcoin crashing by $5,000, $10,000 tomorrow, and suddenly the news articles are really bearish, there's going to be a long list of reasons for why Bitcoin had an inevitable crash coming as well. And those are going to be fundamental news-driven reasons. It's going to be, some fucking exploit or anything. It could be absolutely anything. An exchange gets fucking raided. Remember when we were having those issues back in South Korea, Hong Kong, or whatever? Like, the police were raiding these exchange headquarters and stuff. It was just all sorts of crazy shit. Russia bans crypto. India tries being relevant by banning crypto. Anything and everything. There's going to be so many kind of preloaded reasons that you can point to for why the crash would happen, and that's why we don't really pay attention to those things. We're more interested in the real dynamics that are affecting the market, and it's FOMO. It's FOMO and it's speculation. And so while things are really pretty, you keep going up very, very aggressively, but again, as soon as that faucet stops, it becomes a lot less attractive to hold. Yeah, and I think for me, a big part of it is actually seeing that a lot of people do unto others before they do unto you. The golden rule from Ricky Garcia. Brilliant. I think one thing which is worth paying attention to is a lot of people are just kind of piled on in one direction right now. Do you know what? I've got an idea. Let's come back to the technicals for a second. If you're enjoying this live stream, ladies and gents, do me a favor and smash up those likes. And of course, before I get to this chart idea I've just had, I do want to highlight to you guys the phenomenal opportunity that Bybit is giving you with a free $500 position right here on Bitcoin. Definitely check it out if you like the idea of free money in this market. You are going to get a free $500 position. You can go long or short, whatever you like. And if you make any profits whatsoever, they are yours to keep, which is super, super cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at this Bitcoin chart right here, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're going to take a look at this reversed. And let's see what we think. Like, let's actually do this live together and see what's going on. If you are interested in this offer, just pause the live stream or do this in the background while you're watching. This is going to be open to you all during this live stream. And let's go ahead and take a look at this and see what we think now. If we're actually, and this is just such a difficult chart to work with because it's so crazy, but if we're actually looking at a downtrend, I mean, to me, like, now that we kind of, and I consider myself like, at least at a minimum, I consider myself relatively calm and unbiased about this market. Relatively, like compared to the rest of the crypto market, I'm a fucking monk. But relatively, kind of calm and unbiased. Someone's asking if Bybit is legit. Dude, Bybit's like top 2 in the world, right after Binance. And Bybit is far more legitimate than Binance, in my experience. To be fair, I mean, I have been working with them for years, so take that with a pinch of salt. But I literally trade there as my primary exchange, and I would only choose the best for myself. There are great alternatives. BingX is a great alternative with no KYC. Which is super, super cool. So that's worth checking out. They're giving you over $100,000 in bonuses, and you can trade like stocks and stuff too, which is super cool. I think you might be able to trade Nvidia. Yeah, you can. I'm pretty sure you can trade Nvidia on BingX as well, which is really cool. So definitely check that out as a really, really cool alternative. That's another exchange that I use. But we'll talk about that stuff in a sec. This is a really compelling chart, ladies and gents. I love to do this with you guys to kind of show you, where this thing might go with a much more unbiased view. Because even me, where I'm at, I can't say that this looks like, a super bearish chart at this point. Like, to me, seeing this chart, like, I don't know about you guys. You tell me what you're seeing. Like, tell me in the comment section. Is this a buy or a sell? I want to know. Buy or sell? Write it in the comments. Telling me what you think this is. To me, I mean, we've got a phenomenal bounce coming off this price level right here. It takes the price up by 52%. We've got another phenomenal bounce coming off the exact same level with a small fake out. So, I mean, still a phenomenal bounce zone rising up by 75%. And now we're in the same damn price range again. I mean, to me, it's the most obvious buy ever, right? I mean, if you fucking sell this thing right here, like, you're selling at the bottom, right? I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous to make an argument to sell this thing right now, because you'd have to expect that it's just going to fall through the floor and die. And this is where the fundamental discussion comes in, because naturally, if you think it's an absolute shit coin, and it's the worst thing ever and it's just going to die, then sure. But then why didn't you sell up here? You know what I mean? Like, that's a really important kind of consideration. Like, if you try and make the sell argument implying that this would die, then of course the opposite argument is that this is an absolute new paradigm and the fucking new world order is actually going to be using Bitcoin and so on. And that's a totally different thing. But I mean, in the comment section here, we've got a lot of buys. We've got Ricky coming in here with it's not a buy, it's a wait, which, short, definitely a wise response. Guys, we're so close to 200 likes. Do me a favor and pump them up if you haven't done so already. We're reaching more people as we're doing this. Shout out to Sergio from southern Spain. Sorry about that, bro. I really don't like southern Spain. Been there a couple times, not my vibe. I think it's actually massively overblown. Especially, to be fair, I'm talking about Marbella. I'm sure your part of Spain is going to be a little bit nicer than Marbella. Triple bottom buy. Ricky saying it's a wait is definitely interesting, and I'm inclined to agree with you. But bottom line, if you've got a little bit of capital sidelined, or in this case, real life, if you've got a lot of Bitcoin in your holdings, I think a lot of people would still consider, buy a little bit with that capital. Like, let's pick up a little bit because of how low the price is now and the fact that this is such a critical bounce zone and has been historically for a really long time. Triple bottom buy. Buy, which means sell. Not sure what point you're making there. Buy for the next 10 years. These are the gold rush days. There's no. I can't see how you'd make an argument that. How would you position yourself if you were underexposed right now? Man, I would not be comfortable if I was underexposed right now. Honestly, I think, it doesn't matter. I think this is really important. I read this in a book as well, Market Wizards. It's linked in the description. I live by that book. I breathe by that book. And, well, not literally, of course, because that would be blasphemous. But, that is a phenomenal book. And, of course, one of the authors writes that he was asked, are you in a long position? And if so, from what price? And he responds with, why does it matter what price I entered a long position? Because it doesn't matter what my entry is. It just matters where the price might go. So it has absolutely no bearing where I entered, other than honestly just a fucking ego, mental masturbation exercise. Like a dick measuring contest of I entered here, no, I entered here, that kind of thing. But broadly speaking, it doesn't matter. And I think the exact same thing applies if you're underexposed, because, well, it doesn't matter if you're underexposed. The strategy would simply be the same regardless of your exposure level. Do you think this thing is bullish? If so, then you might want some exposure. Do you think it's going to have a pullback? If so, you might want to reduce your exposure. That's kind of how I'd play this. I was speaking to a very close friend a couple of months back, and he was interested in taking some profits off the table to buy some more Bitcoin if we get to lower levels. And I basically had to say to him, like, look, I obviously think that's a smart idea, and we were sitting at like 40k back then, but I said, especially in his position, I was like very scared. This is a personal conversation I had with a friend right here in my house. I actually might have been in my office. I was like, I would personally, being you, he was quite underexposed in crypto. I was like, being you, I would be uncomfortable selling just because there is a risk that this thing might run and then you're kind of left behind, which would have been absolutely horrible. So, that's what I said to him. But I think broadly speaking, it doesn't actually make a difference regardless of your exposure. But ladies and gents, it looks pretty clear. Like, this is a pretty clear buy according to a lot of you guys right now. For those of you that are just kind of tuning in, obviously what we're seeing here is an inverse Bitcoin chart. This is just everything mirrored, everything flipped upside down. And I just can't I can't look away from this. It helps you remove bias so incredibly well. And to me, I mean, this is just your most typical bounce zone ever. We might get a little bit of a deviation. Okay, fine. But bottom line, to kind of buy this thing and then ride it higher, it just looks so obvious right now to me, ladies and gents. At least and we can start to kind of draw some. Let's actually just take the fixed range volume profile and see what we're looking at from this perspective. Bam, right there. What is this? This is new. I've never seen these 3 dots. Oh, you can't see that. So we've got the value area low right here. So let's go ahead and put a box right about here. We've got the point of control down here. Okay, I probably gotta. Let me just move this really quick. That's probably not the best place to have drawn the fixed range volume profile. Okay, it's still in the right. It's still in the same place. I don't really know why the point of control is all the way up there, but we've got some really nice spikes. Let's take a look at these, draw a couple boxes. So I think there's another box we could draw right here. There's another one right here. Another one. And we're going to remove these boxes and kind of pick which ones we like the look of the most. And obviously now we're getting quite extreme. But, if we go ahead and remove this volume, oh, wow, that's a lot of boxes. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to remove some. This is the 42k level. I'm very happy to keep this one. This is 36. I'm going to have to keep that one too. Going to have to keep this one at 30. But I think we can start removing some of these boxes now. Yeah, we can probably get rid of this one right here. So we're left with kind of 4 key levels on this chart. And take note, there is no key level, and we looked at this on the fixed range volume profile, right? There is no key level according to this particular tool. That kind of sits at like the 50k. We are getting some spikes, but the biggest spikes, we've got all of the biggest spikes here. We're not including the bottom 16k level because that's just ridiculous. But we've got all of the biggest spikes here. This is one of the biggest. This is the biggest spike. This is actually the point of control. The next biggest spike right here. This is the next biggest spike, but we don't actually. No, it's this one right here, which we've got. Yeah, I think I already covered that. And then we've got like $23,000. So we could include this one, but we're not getting anything that like aggressive in the 50k range. And I think that really tells you something. This is just the volume range, right? The volume profile, right? So this kind of just shows us where Bitcoins are being exchanged, but it's really useful to give us an idea of where Bitcoin might have certain magnetic price zones. And I think that's actually really useful because if we know that there's a certain price zone that's magnetic for Bitcoin, we can then start to expect that Bitcoin is going to gravitate toward that price level before continuing its existing trend, which of course in this case we're still on the inverse chart. This trend is a downtrend, right? So I think that would make a little bit of sense here. So did I sell everything? If it's obvious, I bet you didn't. Well, you've missed part of the live stream because I said I did. And I actually posted that in my free Telegram channel. So if you guys want more updates on the kind of trades I'm taking and positions and stuff like that, that's right here in Four Flies Gold. VIP also available if you want to see everything that I'm doing in the markets. right there behind the scenes, which is super, super cool. But I did sell some up here. And I also mentioned earlier on in the live stream that I don't have the confirmation to sell yet, right? Like, I've been bearish on Bitcoin since about 44K. I've still been long. And the reason that, like, my analysis is telling me one thing, but my money is in a different direction is because I'm not getting invalidated, right? Like, I haven't been able to close my long position because I haven't been invalidated. Like, if my long position gets invalidated, I'll close it. But if it doesn't get invalidated, then I'm just talking, you know, and I'd rather make money than talk, you know, which is why my money has still been running the upside, and we haven't had an invalidation. And that's why I haven't sold crypto again until now, because we just haven't had the invalidation. But today I did decide to break that rule, like I said about an hour ago, because even though we don't have an invalidation, I still need to take some profits up here, given how ridiculous this price action has been. Like, to me, it's absolutely insane to still be in the market and not be taking profits right here. I mean, my Bitcoin position is sitting at 1,700% profit. It's absolutely insane. You know, this is not like, you know, to be at this kind of position right now at this stage, you know, I can't not do that. You know, like, I can't not take. In fact, fuck it. I'm just going to take some more profit. I'm convincing myself live on stream. I'm just closing a little bit more. Bybit has such an easy way to close a position, by the way. You just literally press that close buy button right there. And then you can choose like close 10% of your position. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit confirm right there. And that's it. I've taken some profits off my position, which is super, super cool. Well worth checking out, ladies and gents. Like I said, you get so much free cash by trading on Bybit. And by the way, one of the most powerful things about Bybit, which to my knowledge no other exchange does, is they have the unified trading account where it doesn't matter what you hold. You can hold any shit coins. You can hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, fucking anything, USDT. And it will pool all of that currency into one wallet, basically, without you doing anything. And while you're holding your positions, you can execute leverage trades, which is insane because usually on most exchanges, you need to hold the dollar. But if you've been holding the dollar this entire time, you haven't enjoyed any of Bitcoin's upside over the last month. And Bitcoin doubled over the last 4 or 5 months. We covered that in last night's video. Those of you that are subscribed are going to know about that. So because Bitcoin doubled in these last months, that's a lot of upside that you could have experienced, but you wouldn't have been able to. Not just Bitcoin, but altcoins as well have done incredibly well. You haven't experienced any of that because you don't have Bybit's unified trading account. So that actually costs you money. There's a lot of ways that Bybit has really cool features where they're actually like, they don't seem that significant, like the unified trade. Like the first time I heard of it, I literally didn't give a fuck. It actually took me like 6 months plus to actually care. It was only, coincidentally, it was only when I sat down with Ben Zhao, the CEO and founder, in his office in Singapore, and I was talking to him about it. And I was like, I don't really care about UTA. Like, why is this such a big deal? And he made this point to me. I was like, holy shit, bro, you're a fucking genius. And obviously, you know, since then I've been telling you guys about it. So that is super, super cool. And like I said, huge offers available for those of you that do take that up. If you're already referred to Bybit by somebody else, you can make a new account and use the same KYC. That's going to be completely fine using my link, and you'll still get these offers, which is super, super cool. And if you're not referred to Bybit by anybody, but you have an account, then this link right here, the Bybit Bitcoin position, that will give you a form so you can move under me. So that way you get these sick offers. But really, really interesting, you know, kind of approach to analyze this market if we kind of inverse the chart. You know, and I think that one thing this is showing us very clearly is that we're going to have to get that bounce, and it's probably going to be quite an aggressive one. In this case, you know, for me, the first real significant area on the VPVR is showing me a 26% bounce. You know, it's worth noting that, you know, the volume profile range tool is not like the be-all end-all of indicators, but to me, it's very useful just because of how reliable it is and how much it intuitively makes sense. Like for me, when an indicator just shows me what I already knew because I've done my own bare naked TA just with boxes and lines, you know, when an indicator shows me the same thing, when a tool shows me the same thing, that allows me to build what's called confluence, right? And you want confluence when you start making decisions. You want multiple different variables, multiple different tools and indicators pointing in the same direction, because it shows you that, you know, you can arrive at the same conclusion using different methods. And those of you that have studied math will know that that's quite important, right? Like if you've got the right answer, you should be able to reach there through any method. And that's what Confluence allows us to build. That's how these things allow us to build Confluence. So that's been really interesting to me. And just to note, ladies and gents, I'm only selling Bitcoin because I want to buy it back at cheaper levels. Like for me, if I get to sell Bitcoin up here and then buy it back over here, I'm getting 28% more Bitcoin. That's fucking insane. I mean, you do the math on that. If it's a 10K position, I'm gonna have 13K. I'm gonna have like 30% extra Bitcoin. I mean, it's insane. And we talk about what upside that means. That's a 40% increase that I otherwise wouldn't have enjoyed just because I decided to take profits at the most fucking logical level on the chart. So this really, really useful inverse chart, very clearly showing us, and this is why I like to show this to you guys, because I feel like a lot of people are missing this. Like I read the comment section and bulls are so fucking cocky right now, and that's completely okay. Like this is what we expect when we're at crucial market turning points. But those of you that are reasonable like me, who are interested in actually safely making money, it's an interesting time to consider why everybody is so heavily piled on in one particular direction right now. And just kind of have those thought experiments with ourselves. So I'm going to start looking at altcoins in a minute, ladies and gents. If you've got suggestions for what you want me to look at, drop them in the comment section. I'm also going to go through a couple of questions right here in this live stream. I think we're going to bring it back to the normal Bitcoin chart as well. Take a look at this. I mean, now immediately we're just a little bit more bullish looking at this chart, and that just shows you how biased you actually are with your analysis. But I think that really tells you something. Thank you all for smashing up those likes, ladies and gents. We're sitting at 240. If you are finding this live stream useful, interesting, entertaining, then please do me a favor and smash those likes up. If you haven't done so already, double check that you are subscribed. You get the bell icon checked so you don't miss out on this time sensitive content. And yeah, let's see what else we've got here. Hello from Australia, indeed. Yeah, Sydney is at like 9 p.m. now, apparently. Somebody said in the chat something like that, so that's super cool. I have got to put these things on silent. Everybody's texting me on days where Bitcoin goes up or down. That may be the first time I'm on the same side of you as on a political issue. I don't really talk about politics, so I don't know how you would know my political opinions. But yeah, let's see what else we've got here in the comments, and I'll come right back to the analysis for just a sec. Yeah, nobody expects it to continue rising. Everybody expects a pullback. I don't think I'm seeing that. I think if you dare say that price action needs corrections, you're actually burned at the stake right now. That's how I'm seeing this market right now. You just can't put a kind of spin on this market that says corrections are healthy. You just can't do that right now. I'll tell you what, the one thing that has concerned me, I saw this on BitBoy's Instagram, and BitBoy is not part of this company anymore because of the whole fiasco they had, but we're seeing a lot of like very mainstream analysts saying that they're selling crypto right now, and that does make me uncomfortable. That is a sign that, I don't want to be on the same side as these idiots, right? So, and I'm not saying BitBoy Ben is an idiot at all, but generally, like, mainstream analysts are not great, and not him specifically, but all of them. There are exceptions, but generally, when I find myself kind of on the same side as them, I'm definitely like kind of raising my eyebrows a little bit and thinking, shit, am I on the wrong side of this? And we're seeing that with the long and short ratio, right? I showed this to you earlier on in the live stream, but we've got 56% of retail traders going short right now. This is the dumb money saying that the price is going to drop. So, that's definitely not great. Top traders are probably still majority long. I've been majority long this entire year and all of last year as well. So that's not surprising. And it's been the same. It's just majority long the entire time. Retail is the one that kind of flip-flops a little bit. So just from these measures alone, I do think that there's real upside that could continue to come in, right? Just the fact that, look, it's not zero. Like, the amount of people that are saying we're going to drop, it's not zero. And there are big people that are coming up with good reasons for why this thing might drop as well, like the halving crash that usually happens. So for me, I'm keeping an open mind because of that. That's why I mentioned I'm selling some crypto, but not a significant amount or anything like that. I'll probably keep selling if we go up towards the all-time high. I just can't not. It would be like so financially irresponsible. I've been learning financial literacy in this market for 7 fucking years, and if I don't sell now, it's like I'm just like shooting every teacher I've ever had. I'm just fucking grabbing a gun and shooting them straight in the chest and betraying them. That's how I would feel if I don't, kind of take profits up here. I just have to. I wouldn't be able to, like, I don't care where Bitcoin goes. I just wouldn't be able to feel like I've been a responsible manager of my funds. If I don't start, considering taking profits up this high. To me, that would be such a big deal in terms of demonstrating poor financial literacy. That is just how I feel, and I think basically anybody watching this live stream who has any significant sum of money in this market, can only feel the exact same way, because you don't have the ability to play with large sums of money if you don't have good financial literacy, because you just wouldn't be able to keep the money. So you wouldn't have it. It's completely intuitive, but it is usually people at the bottom of the bankroll ladder that have the worst literacy, and people at the top that have the best literacy. And it's so obvious to say out loud, and there are obvious exceptions that I don't care about discussing, but it's so obvious to say this out loud, but it just makes intuitive sense. And that's why oftentimes the best traders are the ones that are basically thinking like those who already have a lot of money, but they're just dialing that aggression up a little bit because, they don't have that money yet, so they need to get there. So they're just a little bit more aggressive, and that's obviously a really nice, healthy strategy. It's definitely the strategy that I've been playing for all these years as well. Sushant asks, I look like India. Thank you for saying I look like a country. Is it true? Well, my dad is Indian, so I am half Indian. But I've never been to India. Personally, born and raised in the UK. Let's see what else we've got here in the comments. A lot of altcoin suggestions. We'll definitely be going through those. I'm not quite there yet. I just want to see if there's any kind of ideas that we need to discuss right here. We're up to 260 likes, ladies and gents. Thank you all very much. Let's pump them up to 300 if we can. That would be sick. Let's start taking a little look at altcoins. I think, Bitcoin still, by the way, 59.2, standing quite strong up here. Seeing a little bit of a pullback, but off what, like 59.5 according to Coinbase. And by the way, I just want to show you the discrepancies, these different charts showing us different highs. Okay, this is 59.5. What have we got here? 59.5 to be fair. Yeah, it's actually across the board. This is 59.6. 6, and this is Bitcoin's dominance chart. Let's actually take a look at this. Yeah, we're at 54% now, so that's interesting. Little pullback here. Very, very short term, there's obviously some support at about 57. So, if we kind of end up falling down there, that could be interesting. But man, to be taking any positions now is just so ridiculously risky. I just couldn't dare at this stage. Personally, I just really couldn't. Bitcoin's dominance tells us a lot. It's really kind of suffocated altcoins a little bit. Like, some coins are keeping up, like Ethereum, but it's only like matching Bitcoin's gain, and it's not really even matching it. It's still losing against Bitcoin. I think broader altcoins tell that story very clearly. Matic is still just kind of sitting right at the $1 level, getting ready for a potential next liftoff, which is definitely interesting. This is still deviation territory, so I wouldn't be kind of banging pots and pans just yet in celebration, but it's definitely a good start. If we take a look at Cardano, right there at the top, getting ready for a really, really big breakout. The beautiful thing about these altcoins is there's so much more upside to go. They've just got to like click above this resistance, and then it's fucking go time. And that is, of course, also what makes these such great opportunities to consider the opposite direction, because if we take a look at this again with our beautiful inverse chart, which is so healthy to analyze the markets, we can start to ask ourselves, well, would we buy or sell this chart right now? And of course, this is Cardano mirrored 1-to-1, but on the just mirrored vertically. And very, very clear that this is, look at this right here. Let me just do this. This is, a key, clear, bounce zone for Cardano historically. And one of the things that we just know as analysts, right, is that if it's been a long time since we've kind of visited a key level on a macro stage, we have to expect a bit of a bounce. And by the way, we already got that bounce, but just generally speaking, we have to expect a bit of a bounce, and then we expect to break it if we start, hitting these levels regularly, right? Like, take a look at this. First of all, and we need this on the weekly because it gets a little bit confusing, but first of all, like right here on the weekly, we've got 3 key macro attempts at breaking the support level, right? Like, we've got right here, we've got right here, and we've got right here. And what's really important is that, we've got, initially a 540-day gap and then a 42-day gap. So that's actually quite short. So we want to see that this continues to get shorter, like we'll call it 10-week gap, right? Something like that. And then we can kind of just trade sideways for a little bit, and then bam, then you really drop. That's what we expect, in a more kind of traditional, not in traditional finance, but just in more traditional settings, even in crypto. Now, obviously, altcoins are going to be a little bit more aggressive than that, right? So we can't really bank on that. Like, sometimes it's just going to pump, and it's going to be quite, maybe even unexpected, dare I say, but definitely quite aggressive. And that's not something that I would rule out. And Cardano, in this case in particular, we may have already fulfilled what we need to because we're getting these attempts a little bit quicker than before. I mean, before it took 500 days and now it's 40 days, right? So that definitely tells you that it's sped up like 10 times. So that's definitely a good sign for the people that want to sell this chart, or of course in real life for the people who want to buy Cardano, for the upside. But again, when we look at this from a perspective of risk, like, this is the riskiest possible time you could sell, or of course again in real life, where you could buy, because we are at such a crucial pivot point now, where on this inverse chart, which is mirrored, it's very clear that there is a bit of a bounce potentially due at this price level here now. So I think that's also an important one to take into account. And honestly, with a lot of these altcoins, you're going to see the same thing. Like, they're right on a breaking point, but you wouldn't necessarily want to trade it in that current trend's direction, because of how risky it would be to be in that market at these stages. And I think, that really does tell us something about the current state of affairs in this market right here. So let's take a look at some others like Solana. Not really moving very much. I think honestly a lot of these coins are just kind of waiting for Bitcoin to stop. When Bitcoin does this, one of the things that, and by the way, this also proves what I was saying earlier about why these fundamental reasons, everyone's saying like ETF, change narrative, supply shock and everything, why these things are just cope. These altcoins prove it. All of these factors are still going to apply to altcoins, right? Like, if Bitcoin is still super, super bullish, I really, really want you guys to pay attention for this one. This is a really big deal. If Bitcoin is super bullish, and it's got all of these supply shock factors that you guys are parading around the streets, then okay, fair enough. But the same thing should apply for altcoins. Not because these altcoins are getting ETFs, but because these altcoins are so small and so illiquid compared to Bitcoin that if Bitcoin is pumping up, there's no reason why altcoins shouldn't pump up as well. Like, there's no reason. Altcoins should be able to move up at the same time because it's just excitement that kind of trickles down into the altcoins. If Bitcoin needs £1 to move up, altcoins need half a penny. You know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of ratio, or even less than that. So we start looking at it from that perspective, and it's very clear that, altcoins should be rising up with Bitcoin, but they're not. They're actually staying exactly where they are. Why? Why are they staying where they are? Why is Ethereum, the second largest, most significant crypto in the entire game, not outperforming Bitcoin, considering how much smaller than Bitcoin it actually is? Why? Why are we not seeing that optimism in these markets? It's for a very clear reason. Very, very clear reason. Those of you that have been watching me for a while, you probably already know this. Let me know in the comment section if you know what I'm about to say before I get there. Just tell me. I know what's coming. I'd be very curious to know how many of you guys can preempt this, because I say it regularly on the channel. But basically what we've got here in this situation, ladies and gents, is Bitcoin is a safer asset than these altcoins right now. And because Bitcoin is safer, if it looks like you can make money off the safer asset, you're immediately going to be a lot less interested in the dangerous asset. Because why would you take a dangerous bet to make money when you can take a safer bet to make money, right? And basically what that means is that these altcoins are not attractive in the current risk environment, even though Bitcoin is going up, because Bitcoin is safer to trade. That shows you people are not interested in these coins for fundamental reasons. They're just interested in these coins because they think that there's some upside potential. And if that upside potential looks like it's easier in a safe place rather than easier in a dangerous place, everybody is going to pick the safe place every single day of the week. If you have the same upside to gain by, I don't know, walking on a bridge which is super fucking sturdy, if you have the same upside there compared to walking on like a crooked, dangerous, rotten wooden bridge, you're always going to pick the steel bridge. You're always going to pick the healthy, big, safe bridge. And I think that's a really, really big deal. That really tells us a lot about why these coins are not moving. And it makes complete intuitive sense. As soon as Bitcoin levels off, suddenly Bitcoin isn't attractive anymore. Guess where the money goes? It goes straight into the altcoin market. In the altcoin markets, it's so much easier to pump. So that proves to us, just this dynamic right now proves to us that people are not in these coins for any of these fundamental reasons you're describing. They're just in these coins because they want to make money. And if you can make money safer in a safe place, then you're going to take that. And if that stops being attractive, you're going to start taking more risk. It's not about the coins. It's not about the fact that Solana's a fucking layer 2 or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what layer this shit is. That's how completely out of sync I am with this stuff. I literally cannot make myself give a fuck. It doesn't matter about that stuff. It's all just, where's the hype? Where can I make money? And if you couldn't make money off this stuff, would you buy it? Answer is obviously a very, very clear no. So I think that's important. Let's take a look at what else we've got here in the comment section before I carry on with some of the, I like the turtles. I don't know if you're talking about, who was it? Mark Douglas? I forgot. Bless him, he passed away. He had a group of traders. What were they called? Were they the turtles? Let me check this real quick. The turtles traders, really interesting. Yeah, it was the turtles. From what? I don't recognize this name. Richard Dennis, that makes sense. Yeah, it was Richard Dennis. Very, very interesting. He took a bunch of traders and he just taught them a system, and they were very successful. And it just proves that like anybody can make money in crypto, in trading, according to this, which I thought was very interesting, because I knew this already intuitively. I do believe that anybody can make money in these markets. I just think that most people won't. And that's their own fault. But, that's different to saying that you're physically like not able to. It's different to that. I think like anybody is able to, they just choose not to. I mean, say for like a mental disability or something, you can't really account for that. But, like generally speaking, I think that should be quite easy. Well, not easy, but quite doable. I hope you didn't think selling Bitcoin would drop the price, dude. I'm nowhere near that level. I like your channel and engagement. Very, Sammy. Thanks for that. Do you not like the ongoing Bybit ads? You're so successful. Why do you need to do that? Well, I don't need to be on YouTube, so I want to make YouTube worth my time a little bit, right? And Bybit is a partner of this channel for a long time. I'm super happy to just trade for myself, but if I'm on YouTube and it costs me like 30 seconds of time to make a plug, I've got no problem making that plug. And yeah, it's just a reality. I think a lot of people are gonna be okay with it. You either don't like it or you do, but you sit through it because you like the content. So it's not ideal. In an ideal world, nobody would be doing any advertisements, but we're not in that. I still want to get something out of doing YouTube, and Bybit has been a partner that I used for a really long time, and I love working with them, and I love to tell people about them. It's been my primary exchange for like 5 years. So, it's a company that I feel very confident talking about. A lot of people are curious where I put my money, and you'd be surprised. A lot of people don't actually hear these things. Even though you might hear it in every video, a lot of people are like, oh, I just heard it for the first time. So they want to hear these things, and they're interested in seeing what your boy's doing. Turtle Trader is a good book. Should read it. Better than Rich Dad Poor Dad. Dude, Rich Dad Poor Dad is absolute trash. It's one of the worst books I've ever read. I wish I could get my time back for reading that book. Literally, the entire book is just buy assets, not liabilities. Like, thank you, bro, as if that wasn't extremely deathly obvious. Like, you're writing that book for people that are fucking raised in projects with absolutely no chance at financial literacy. You know, that's the target. Like, anybody that's not raised in like an absolutely squalid fucking environment with zero fucking exposure to any level of financial literacy is not going to need that book. And even the people that were raised in those environments, like me, that's where I came from, you'll figure that shit out so quickly that you don't even need a book like that. The most overhyped book ever, Robert Kiyosaki, extremely cringe guy to listen to. I could not believe how famous he got. Like, it's honestly just a testament to how stupid a lot of people are. Like, it's such beginner level, like, you know, don't buy stupid things. Like, thank you, bro. Like, as if your fucking father can't tell you that, or your mother. You know, I think it's ridiculous. I understand a lot of people don't have that, you know, and that's obviously very sad. And like I said, I didn't have much of it either, you know, but I certainly didn't need Robert Kiyosaki to tell me that. I mean, it's just fucking common sense. Some things are going to lose you money, don't buy them. Some things are going to make you money, buy them. Like, why do you need a book to tell you that? I don't get it. Let's come back to the markets, ladies and gents. I'm getting off track a little bit. Thank you all for smashing up those likes. We're closing in on 300, which is absolutely fantastic. That is very, very cool to see. Let's come back to the price action here. Let me know if there's any other ideas you want me to discuss in this live stream. Should I enter a Pepe short? I can't tell you about that, but let's actually go ahead and take a look at Pepe. Wow, 30%. Holy shit. Okay, Pepe is up to its all-time highs, basically. Wow, look at that. I had a long outline, and I didn't take it. Let's see what this is looking like. I mean, you know, you just can't analyze this chart, can you? I mean, this is basically an all-time high, but like, I wouldn't trade this. I wouldn't fucking touch this with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't touch this. No way. To quote the Americans in their analogies or whatever they say. But yeah, no, I wouldn't. Their expressions. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't touch this. No way. I think a retest could be really interesting. Like, somewhere down to here. Like, this is a really interesting bounce zone. I don't know if I would be able to trade this on leverage, so I feel like the risk profile is way too high. But that's a double, and I think it could drop down here. I mean, it got up here in fucking 2-3 days. I think it can get down here in like a day, honestly, or like, you know, just a couple of days. So this could be a really interesting, you know, kind of bounce to play if it does end up dropping down. You can do that kind of trade, any trade you like on spot coins for free on Bybit, which is super cool. And they do, of course, have Pepe available. You can even trade it on leverage if you so choose. Let's see what else we've got here in the comments. Any other kind of questions? Any other kind of key ideas you want me to go over? I've probably missed a bunch because we've had a lot of comments here today, but open short just for hedging. I mean, you could also sell to hedge, right? I don't know why you would go short to hedge. Maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, let me know if you've got anything else you want me to check out. I'm getting a lot of altcoin suggestions. I'm seeing some that I haven't really looked at, like Atom. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'm not going to look at too many of them because I don't like to comment on coins that I've never really properly looked at. But Atom actually has a pretty nice chart. Yeah, this is a nicer chart than a lot of these coins. Much clearer resistance. Look at that, much clearer resistance. I think the upside doesn't look great compared to other coins, though. This is a pretty clear short to me. This is a much more clear short to me than other coins, especially considering it's lagging behind. You could argue that because it's lagging behind, actually it's going to pump up harder, but I don't really subscribe to those kind of ideas in situations like this. I think that this is, you know, a little bit more of an obvious. Look at that, stretch it back out. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything other than a potential sell right here. I mean, a lot of people struggle with these ideas, but it actually makes sense to sell coins when you're in a profit. I mean, you do want to sell on a green day and you do want to buy on a red day, and it's like, it's so obvious to say out loud, but a lot of people just do not get it. BNB, another coin that's done very, very well in this current environment. Binance team has just been spectacular at like playing the PR disasters that they've averted with CZ and everything. I'm pretty sure he's still in the US awaiting like some sort of court date or something. And the fact that they've managed to hold on to their reputation so well, I mean, they have they have done so well, and they've obviously probably got control of like all the major news publications for crypto, so they're able to kind of control the narratives, if not directly, then indirectly. That's just my guess. I have no fucking clue, but it's very, very interesting how they were able to pull that off. And again, very, very clear resistance right here. So very obvious sell, from this particular perspective. Again, it's just that, you don't really want to like stand in front of a moving train either. I just don't know if I see, and I think Binance specifically, if we kind of extrapolate a target like I did at the beginning of this video, Binance has probably already fulfilled that. Binance has nearly fulfilled that. It lines up perfectly with our targets. So that's something which I think is important. What are we talking about? There's some comments that I don't understand the context of. Which book to read? I got my 2 favorite books of all time for trading in the description. You can go ahead and check them out. I got a link for US and UK Amazon. We've had 300 likes. Thank you all very much. That is absolutely fantastic. Let's go back to Bitcoin for a sec. We're sitting at about 59.3. Managing to recover this thing just a little bit. Honestly, this could turn into a bigger recovery. Look at these wicks. These wicks tell us something. These drops are getting bought back up pretty quickly here. Let's zoom in even further and get a little bit degen just for fun, because why not? And we've got like some really nice buying action kind of stepping back into the market at these levels here. So I think if we're able to kind of clear, what is this, 59,368? If we're able to clear the mid 300s, that would be our kind of breakout up to the high. And I think we should be able, like, if we just kind of break this high, I think we're going to set a new high today, and we're about to do that by the looks of it. So this is getting pretty saucy now. Very, very interesting, guys. Please do not take this as a cue to fucking day trade. I know a lot of YouTubers do this to make people day trade and like make people more aggressive in their trading, but it's only so that they get affiliate commissions. I'm not doing that for that purpose right now. I'm just genuinely curious like you guys. So if you're starting to feel FOMO, you must reel that shit back in. I mean, if that's your trading style and that's what you do, then fuck it, fair enough. But if you're changing your trading style because you're watching a live stream, you're in a dangerous place. You're in a dangerous place, bro. I've seen it happen before. I've been that guy before who's done it. You don't want to be that guy. It's not a good place, but it's cool to watch. It's fun. It's entertainment, right? It's like the US elections that are going to happen like this year. Like, you just kind of watch them because they're fun, not because you're necessarily invested in the outcome. Otherwise you'd lose your mind. Can you talk about why this pump is bad? It's not like bad in particular. It's just overextended, right? And like everything's got to kind of correct. That's basically my point. I mean, it's just reached a point now where it's like too much of an obvious place for me to start taking profits. That's basically how I feel about it. I wouldn't necessarily say it's bad, like I said. I do like, though, that there's like such an obvious potential opportunity for trades at this level now, just at least for kind of closing out positions at a minimum, taking some profits. That's definitely nice. Like I said, the links to Bybit down below are going to give you some phenomenal offers that you can take advantage of, including a free Bitcoin position on Bybit. $500 for free you can just throw into Bitcoin. Whether you go long or short doesn't matter, and any profits are yours to keep as well, which is really, really cool. Like I said earlier, one of the key benefits of Bybit is the fact that you've got the unified trading account where you can hold any crypto you like and you can still trade these markets. Like, usually you need to hold USDT, but that means you don't have exposure to crypto when crypto is moving up. So this is actually a really, really useful feature of Bybit, which can help make a lot of money as well, which is super, super cool. Basically, it's pumping too retardedly, as you said. Yes, I think that's basically what we're at. So really, really cool offers there. Like I said, BingX, phenomenal, no KYC alternative as well, linked right there. Let's see what else we've got here in the comments. Talk about Polkadot. Yeah, let's take a look at Polkadot real quick. It's been a minute since I've looked at Polkadot. Look at this on the daily. Yeah, macro resistance that it hasn't quite reached yet. It's got this area, interestingly, that we've just broken above. There's not a lot you could say about this chart, really. I mean, we've got to get up to that next area of resistance at about $9.37. But beyond that, I don't really know what else I could say about this particular this particular chart. Honestly, it looks like it's a little bit lost. Like, I mean, a lot of coins are actually a lot closer to their key levels by now, but Polkadot kind of just in the middle of a range, which is not comfortable. But it is what it is. Honestly, I think coins like this, by the way, what could be really interesting is if they come for a back test, right? Like, if you start seeing, something a little bit like this, then that could be a really interesting, highly, highly risky trade. Because these are kind of back tests that could end up being quite profitable. So that would be something that I might be interested in if I'm looking for some kind of very short term, just fun little trades to keep me busy. Something a little bit like this. I think I wouldn't say it's horrible. Like, I think there is some merit to those kind of trade ideas. Phantom has been so disappointing this bull run. Look, don't be too worried about things that are disappointing, because a lot of the time they do end up, kind of pulling it back, when you stop looking. So, I don't have any loyalty to any of these coins, but, I have seen it many times that, something is a little bit slow and it just kind of takes its time, and then it actually pumps up a lot harder than other coins did. There is a psychological capital cost that you pay, because you might kind of like get a bit fed up and start making bad decisions because of that. But, that's just the difficulty of being a trader. That is the number one challenge we face. But from what I'm seeing right now, Phantom is at its like kind of key macro resistance area right now. We could probably extend it up a little bit more, but this is, if we're able to kind of break above this, it's just such an easy big ride up for Phantom, another basically double in its price if it manages to get up above this resistance area. So what you want to see is like, ideally something a little bit like this, where you kind of start to print an ascending triangle and then bam, blast off, kind of like summer of this year. That would be fantastic. But I don't know if we're actually going to get that, but that's what I'd see there. Everyone was talking about Grok. This is not like Grok from Twitter, right? I don't think so. Yeah, pretty nice chart again. It's just got resistance here. So, there's not a whole lot I can say about these kind of things, but, it's definitely, it's definitely at a resistance level right now. So that's, I can't say a whole lot more than that on this at this particular stage. There's been no pullback before the halving like previous cycles. Yeah, there hasn't, and I'm still expecting it to come. I think that all of this price action just makes that pullback even more likely, and it's even more likely to be explosive. I think one thing I will say on that is I think we might start seeing the argument that the pullback already happened in 2022. A bit of a stretch to say that, because that was an entire fucking 2 years before the halving, but 2022 was indeed a really vicious, like very, very vicious bear market. It was the worst bear market that I have seen, and I haven't been in many bear markets because I've only been in the space for 7 years. But many people who I know who've been in this space since the early 2010s or even before that, they agree that 2022 was really bad. So could it just be that we paid for all of our suffering in 2022 and we're now like, in negative credit, as in like the credit card owes us money? And there's just like unlimited upside now for a little bit because we've paid so much of our debts, like more than we had to. Could it be that case? Maybe. I don't think so, but I think that's an argument that we might start seeing. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. That might be interesting to take note of in this market right here. Yeah, not managing to get that breakout here on Bitcoin. If we look at this on the 5 minute, it's still getting rejected up top over here as well, which is interesting. I need to get in at 10,000. All this pumping is wasting my time. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're getting a $10,000 Bitcoin, bro. Would be very cool, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, let's take a couple more questions, and I think I'm gonna be wrapping this live stream up. I don't think we were able to reach a lot of people on this one, which is a shame. We've had some really nice price action here. Not quite sure why. Live streams always tend to be pretty bad, for me at least. Maybe I just got to do them more consistently. But I'm happy to come on later on tonight, ladies and gents. In like 6 to 10 hours, whatever. Depending on what happens in the market. If we start to see some more price action, I'm super happy to come back on live with you guys and take a look at what's going on. Of course, as we are wrapping this one up, make sure that you are taking advantage of the phenomenal offers linked down below. That's definitely super cool. 400 viewers, not so bad. Absolutely not. It's not so bad. I think it's just because it's a live stream, it's just getting impacted. So that's cool. I mean, I think I do want to come back if we do get some more price action tonight. I want to be here like with you guys while all the price action is happening. I think a lot of you guys actually find that really useful, and I definitely enjoy it myself. So, I'm happy to do that. What is your most bearish target if we pull back? Probably 27 is my most bearish target, and that would be like a flash. I really don't think we'd spend long there. I'd love to see a 30k bounce, like a nice clean 30k bounce, but a 27 flash would be really nice. Basketball saying I find it soothing with these live streams. Yeah, I think a lot of people, they start getting a lot of FOMO. They start, look at this, Bitcoin's kind of pushing right now again. A lot of people start getting a little bit of FOMO. They start, losing themselves a little bit. And it's useful to have a dude on the other side that's kind of seen this shit happen for 7 years and just be like, yo, let's sit down and let's make sure that we've got ourselves strapped in properly and we're not making any stupid decisions. Because honestly, a lot of people are actually going to be saved from losing shitloads of money during times like this, which I think is pretty cool. Why not Forex? Good question. I actually don't really have anything against Forex. I just find Bitcoin, crypto pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but like I know crypto, like I've been in crypto nonstop for so long that I just kind of know it so well. It's almost like, you've got your wife that you've been with for like 30 years and like there's no point in divorcing now. You just fucking basically know each other so incredibly well that like you don't like each other, but like you'll tolerate each other just because like you can't like leave each other now. Like it's been too long. It's kind of how I feel about crypto. It's not to say I don't like crypto. I still love it. Like there is still that passion. This is still a passionate marriage. Married to the game. But basketball's loving that analogy, yeah. But I think that I'm just too deep in now to leave. So that's how I feel about this. Like I said, I still love crypto. Obviously, I just even if I didn't love it, put it this way, even if I didn't love it, I still would feel the same. That's how it is. Yeah, so Forex, I mean, I think it's cool. I'm definitely interested. I mean, I've got them watch listed, and I've got some other stocks that you can trade Forex and stocks and stuff that you can trade on BingX, so I'm definitely interested in them, and I'm definitely keen on trading them. For me, it's just about, like, if I'm seeing, good opportunities on crypto, then I'd probably just prefer to do that instead, though. Gold, indices, you can trade them all on BingX, so and it's a no KYC thing, so it's like, well, I may as well just kind of stick to that, and of course, if crypto is fun, then I'll just trade crypto. 22 correction was like a 78% correction from the top. 2018 was an 84% dump. Yeah, it's a good point. The 2022 correction was not as heavy in terms of price correction as 2018. But there's a big difference, and the big difference is, there's a few big differences. The first one is that the market was way bigger when this happened, so there were way more people that got hit. Put it this way, if there is I'm trying to think of a better, this is really shit, any analogy I can give you. Like, if there is, let's say there's like 0.1% incidences of violence in a city every day, like 0.1% of the population is involved in violence. If the population is 100 people, then that's one thing. But if the population is 100 million people, then that's another thing entirely. And it's still 0.1%, but it just goes much further. So I think that's one of the key reasons that 22 was such a strong correction. But also it was relentless, right? I mean, this entire correction, you only had one real reaction rally, and it only lasted about 2 months, and that was it. I mean, the entire year from start to fucking finish was just a bear market. 2018, very, very different, right? 2018, we had nice big bounces. We doubled in price off this low. And then when that wasn't enough, we went up by 50%. And then we went up by 40%. And then we went up by 25%. We had so many kind of chances in 2018 to have some pullbacks and some relief. And there were only really two key legs. There was this one key leg and this second key leg. Like, that was it. It was actually a really tame, soft bear market by that measure. It was still completely empty. I remember being with that Martini guy in London, and we were going to like crypto conferences, and it was completely empty. And we were like, damn, like, this is really fucking, silent right now. And we remembered knowing that, like, someday these holes are going to be packed and we're going to be fucking rich because we didn't leave. And we were super happy about that. So that was cool. But I think this one, I mean, it's just, to be fair, you could say again, one leg, second leg, third leg, so like not that bad, but it's just relentless. Like, where are the pullbacks? There was no relief during that downtrend. So I think that was another big reason for why it was just so draining. It's just a constant year of fucking abuse. It was horrible. I think that's why a lot of people really got burned from that bear market. Can I talk about Holo? We'll take a quick look. Never even heard of Holo, but let's see what's up with Holo. All of these coins are the same. It's at resistance. I mean, it's probably, this is a key resistance area. It would make sense for it to drop, and if it doesn't drop, then it's got huge upside. I mean, that's all you can say about this coin right now. It's already faked out, so that's interesting. How do you think the spot ETFs will impact market dynamics in case of a big pullback? Will it make it more tame? I think a pullback is going to be fucking huge at this stage. And I think we're finally going to see real volume coming in on these ETFs if a pullback happens. I think anything we've seen now is going to look like pennies compared to the actual ETF volume we're probably going to see if the price drops down. The thing that every single one of these fucking shit-munching moon boys do not get is that these guys that are buying through ETFs are not the dumb money. You are the dumb money. We are the dumb money. Rejoice in our unity, knowing that we are the dumb money. That's really how it is. Like, fucking humble yourself a little bit for a second, ladies and gents. Obviously, I don't necessarily mean that we are dumb, but we're retail. Like, we are the people that get fucked by those big guys, and that's okay. We just need to be aware of that and then know how to navigate it, and that's what this YouTube channel's for. Those people do not buy our bags and make us rich. It'll be the first time in history where the upper class ever makes people like us rich. It's fucking ridiculous to even allege that that's going to happen. I think what we're really seeing is there will be a nice big pullback. A lot of people like you and I are actually going to be selling crypto because we're scared, and then that's where we're going to see a nice recovery when they've bought their crypto cheap. And then because there's actually like not a whole lot of talk about this in the real world yet. I mean, considering we're at $60,000, I mean, last time we were at $60,000, fucking everybody was talking about it. It's not the same right now. We just don't have that media buzz right now. So I think a huge part of this is literally just, like we're not seeing, the real potential of this rally yet. If you actually pay attention to what I'm saying, I'm more bullish than most people in the market. Because I think we're going to see a much bigger move up. I just think that the upper classes, they need to buy their crypto first. That's just how I feel about this. Could be an intentional quiet media storm. I think that's exactly what it is. I mean, to think that these people are not fucking manipulating the media is ridiculous, right? I mean, of course they are. Look at this on the 1 hour. We're still kind of, just hanging tight right here, getting rejected on our upside, not really pushing down either. So, that's what I see there. Ladies and gents, it is 3 p.m. here in Dubai, and I went to the gym yesterday, so I gotta eat some food, gotta get that protein in. What am I eating today? Gotta figure that out. Maybe some poke. Might get some poke today. We'll see. Yeah, I like the idea of poke. All right, ladies and gents, I'm probably going to call it a stream here. Thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, I'll be back with you all later on this evening if we do get some more price action. Thank you for all of the love you've shown on this live stream. Do me a favor and smash those likes up one more time if you have enjoyed it. Obviously, take advantage of the phenomenal offers down below if you like them. They are available now and they won't be forever. Especially this $500 free position that Bybit's given you. You can throw this in Bitcoin, long or short, anything you like. No risk to you, and any profits you generate are yours to keep. So that is super, super cool. BingX, a no KYC alternative with access to traditional finance. Super, super cool. Thank you, Sammy. It was very nice. You're very welcome, guys. Thank you all very much for the very, very supportive comments. I do appreciate it. I'm going to call this a stream, get my poke, go do some cardio, get my day started. And yeah, I think that's the plan here. So I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.